nung nagpicture, pastor, din ako nakitang gunting.
Yan yung reason kung bakit nawala yung kanyang lakas. Strongholds of the Philistines. So if you are familiar with the Philistines, especially Philistines became famous during the battle of David and Goliath. Okay, so Goliath the giant, the champion of the Philistines. So this city Asdod is one of the 5 strongholds or major cities of the Philistines. So Asdod, Ekron, Gath, and Ashkelon, and there's another one, Gaza. Okay, so this is the strongholds or the center of power of the Philistines in the Old Testament time. And we have also a story in the Bible that says when the Philistines defeated the Israelites, they captured the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is something, it's like a box, and inside of it is the 10 Commandments given by God to Moses. So they brought the Ark of the Covenant in the temple of Dagon here in Asdod. And interestingly, in the morning, the statue of Dagon fell down. It was broken, and they put it back again. And on the second morning, they found out the statue of Dagon fell down once again. So that symbolizes that the God of Israel is the true God, and Dagon can't do something or anything against the God of Israel. So because of that, they removed the Ark of the Covenant here in the temple of Dagon in Asdod, and they brought it in Ekron. But most of all, since we are here in the statue of Samson, we're going to talk about him. And the highlight of his story was recorded in the book of Judges chapter 16. So let me quote, and let us learn some practical insights that we can apply in our lives today. Especially men, you have to learn something, and women, we need to learn something from the story of Samson. Okay, so here we go. Judges chapter 16 verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. So this is one of the problem of men. Okay, even today they are having sexual relationship to a woman that is not their wife. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither, and they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. So Samson is one of the hero of the tribe of Dan. And the Gazites or the Philistines wanted to kill him because he killed too many Philistines during his time. Okay, he is the one who gave freedom or liberation to the Israelites when they were oppressed by the Philistines, and that is the reason to kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the 2 posts, and went away with them bar and all, and put them upon his shoulder, and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron. Are you familiar with Hebron?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the location of the burial site of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and together with their wives.
Gusto ko
So
puntahan
imagine,
yung Hebron.
so they are trying to stop Samson. Okay, they closed the gate.
Lalabas ka sa
But this man, he removed this post of the gate of Gaza, and he brought this post to the hill in Hebron. That's too far, mga kapatid. Okay, that's too far. So from this point, we can see that Samson is a man with tremendous, extraordinary strength. And we can learn from the story that the strength of Samson was a gift from God. Okay, so that's a remarkable strength of this man. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Zurek, whose name was Delilah.
Yes, Delilah.
Okay, so are you familiar with the valley of Zurek?
Yes.
Zurek is,
Zurek.
if you
Ano kayong Zurek,
already visited the stalactites and stalagmites, Zurek Cave. So from the vantage point, the valley that you can see, that's the valley of Zurek. And Samson fell in love to the woman there in the Valley of Sorek, and the name is
Delilah.
Delilah. Okay, so take note, Delilah. Okay, girls, you are the Delilah of our lives. Be careful. Ay, anya mo She wanted to find out the strength of Samson. So that's why every day, daily, she is asking, pressing Samson to reveal the source of his strength, so that his soul was vexed unto death. So, si Samson naman, hindi na maipaliwanag yung nararamdaman. Then he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. So this time, Samson already revealed the reason of his strength, and that is yung kanyang buhok na hindi pa nadadaanan ng razor mula nang siya ipanganak. So when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as other times before. Take note, ha? He never found yet na wala na siyang strength. Kaya sabi niya, lalabas din ako. At ganun ulit yung mangyayari. And then, what happened? And shake myself, and wist not that the Lord was departed from him. So, the moment that the hair of Samson was cut off, then God also departed from him. So, he was abandoned, mga kapatid. Why? Because Samson did not obey the instruction upon him. He was instructed from his youth, from the very beginning, that there should be no razor that should come upon his head. And that's the beginning of the tragedy in his life. Okay? So kaya minsan nakakatakot. Let me tell you something. Okay? Sometimes it's very dangerous to tell your secret to somebody.
Yes.
Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay? Agree?
Agree.
I mean it, mga kapatid. It's very dangerous to tell your secret to somebody. You don't know what will gonna happen in the future. The person who knew your secret might tell it to somebody, and that could be the destruction of your life or your integrity or of your personality. So be careful to tell your
Sorry.
okay? Sometimes it's better to bury some secrets with you until the grave. Okay? Better not to be found out by somebody. So let's continue on. So what happened? But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters and brass and did grind in the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. So what happened to Samson? He was brought to Gaza and he suffered there in Gaza. And they blinded his eyes. So he became blind and he's working hard there in Gaza like a slave. Okay? So he's like an ox grinding something there in Gaza. But his hair grew once again. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god. Take note, they are celebrating their God, to their God, and to rejoice, for they said, Our God had delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands. Okay? So that's it. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, Our God had delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. You see? And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, Call for Samson, that he may make us a sport. They wanted him to become a laughing stock there in their midst. And he made him sport, and they set him between the pillars. So like this one, okay, this is the representation of the story. He was in between of two pillars in Gaza, okay, although the statue is here in Asdod, but the story of this image happened in Gaza, in the temple of Dagon there in Gaza.